What is up, guys? It's Montana with Sawyer's Garage. We are back again. Skipped last week due to a snowpocalypse, snowstorm is what they were calling it. Basically, we didn't get much, didn't do anything because I was too busy shoveling snow. But we are back again today. We got a beautiful 55-degree day here in Spring, Wyoming. So we are going to do some pressure washing on the old Toyota. We're going to pressure wash this engine block, get all this oil off, we hope, as well as I did pull the transmission out, and we're going to get a good pressure washing of the transmission as well. And then from there, we're going to see what all parts we need to order and get them ordered up. So we got the pressure washer out, getting ready to get some work done. So we will be back with an update shortly. Alright guys, our pressure washing is done. Turned out pretty good. It's going to save us a lot of elbow grease. You know, there's still some things that we need to kind of come in and scrub as we pull some of these components off. But for the most part, for how oily this whole thing was, she's looking much better. And then we also did the engine compartment. That turned out pretty decent as well. All the blue paint came off real easy, and we were able to get most of it off the frame and stuff like that, so that'll help. And then we pressure washed the transmission as well, which came decently clean as well. This we're not too worried about because it's going to be underneath the vehicle, but we did want to get all the grease and stuff out of the bell housing, which we got some stuff. So we're pretty happy with the results. We are done pressure washing for today, so we can dry off now. And there's our pile of old parts. We can dry off now. We got to clean up the floor from all the oils that end up spilling, hitting the floor. Kind of a mess down here. The tools that we dropped, screws and bolts that we dropped. Pick all that up, get all this clean, because we're going to be disassembling that engine in here soon. You know, obviously we want a nice clean area to do so in, so we don't get any contaminants in the engine. So that's going to be our next step, is getting this floor cleaned up, and then we're going to roll the engine. We're going to let it air dry out there with what will roll it in. We still need to drain the oil out of it. I'm sure there's still some more coolant holding up in it, and we're going to start disassembling at least down to a I'm drawing a blank on the name. But you're gonna, why am I drawing a blank on the name? Short block, to a short block. So to my knowledge, we're gonna try to leave the rotating assembly in place, but we are gonna pull the cylinder head and look at the cylinder head and look at the cylinders, things like that, and see what we find. Make sure that it's not due for a rebuild or anything. If it's not due for a rebuild, then it's just gonna be a reseal. We're gonna go back together with it with fresh gaskets, but we haven't ordered anything yet until we know exactly what parts, super dark, until we know exactly what parts it needs. That way we make sure we get the right parts the first time around if it does need a rebuild. What we discovered the other day is that parts for this thing are like ridiculously cheap. Like ridiculously cheap. A complete engine gasket kit for this thing was like less than 80 bucks. $63.86. Yeah, and that's for like Fel Pro gaskets, not even like some Chinese gasket. I think that's also the Fel Pros were like 70 something. Like alternators were 30 bucks and starters were 30 bucks.
Water pump was 40.
Water pump was 40 bucks and timing chains were cheap. And a lot of, I mean, it's tempting to want to say, hey, let's rebuild the whole thing, but at the same time, if it doesn't need it, the odometer on the truck itself only reads about 16,000 and some change. And there's a possibility that could be accurate because there's still a 0 left to go on the odometer if it would have kept rolling. So there's a good chance that this thing may only have 16,000 miles on it, in which case it probably doesn't need a rebuild. It probably just needs a reseal because those gaskets are from 1980 and they've been on there for 40 plus years. So that's where we're at. We're gonna finish cleaning up the floor down here and then we'll be back. The engine is in pieces, never to run again. Right, Josh?
Yeah.
Never run again. All right.
Never.
You guys can see we got it disassembled down to the short block. It's actually looking pretty decent. Got the block decently clean. We still got obviously some more work to go. We kind of just scrubbed the tops of the pistons a little bit. There was some carbon on there. But that's really about it. I know you can't, lighting's not very well, but there's no real lip there. Pistons look decent, the bores look decent. I don't see any like wear spots or anything like that. So I think she'll be good to go. She may only have 16,000 miles on it. Go ahead and spin her over. Goes up, they go down, they even come back up again. So now we know what all we need to order. Sorry, let the camera actually look at me. So now we know what all we actually need to order. There you are. To get this engine back up. We're basically just going to reseal it with a fresh gasket kit, new water pump, new oil pump, all new seals, obviously, gasket kit. What else are we gonna do?
Carburetor.
New carburetor, Weber carburetor.
Probably, possibly new oil pan.
We might go ahead and just do a new oil pan because that thing was like glued on there, and we might have messed with the sealing surface a little bit. So if a new oil pan is available and cheap, we'll probably just buy a new oil pan versus fixing this one. Not that it would be difficult to, but it also saves us from to clean it. So.
Oh, and then front and rear main seals.
Definitely. Part of the gasket kit. So, and then, yeah, I mean, that's really about it. Everything else is cleaning up pretty well. Cylinder head looks great, as far as I can tell. Still haven't pulled that off, but that's just going to be a gasket seal behind there. The camshaft looks good. All the rockers felt good. Everything seems to be fully functioning. We will go ahead and do a new timing chain with a new tensioner, just because if we're going this far, we might as well. And that's really about it. That's kind of what we needed to get done on it this weekend, was just disassemble it, figure out what parts we need to order. So now we're there. We got quite a bit of work in just cleaning off the gasket surfaces of all the stuff that was left behind without dropping it further in the engine and screwing us. So there's probably a couple hours worth of scraping gasket surfaces
On everything.
On everything. You know, we got the oil pan surface, we got the cylinder head surface, we got the actual cylinder head itself, the front cover, the rear cover. Basically everything needs a good scrub. So that's where she's at. That's where she's going to stay for the weekend. And then we'll be back at it, do some more work with her. Hopefully next weekend. Josh may come over during the week and do some scraping on some of these surfaces, get her cleaned up. But we got another project that we are tackling right now. So that is going to be it for the Toyota build this week. And then we're going to start filming the next video. So we'll catch you guys next week. Saw from the footage, we were cruising here in a Hagglund, however you pronounce it. Really awesome. We got the opportunity to come out here and get a ride in the old Hagglund, however that's pronounced. And that was an awesome experience. What do you think, Josh? Did you have a good time? You got to drive, I got to drive. It was pretty awesome. It's like a military style tracks off-road vehicle, kind of go anywhere. With the front hatch, and then there's even a back step.